If you're thinking about moving to Austin, everyone tells you the same thing: live near downtown. And sure, downtown has the energy, the restaurants, the nightlife, the whole vibe. But talk to people who've actually lived there for a year or two, and you start hearing the same complaints: brutal traffic, impossible parking, constant noise, and if you've got kids or an early commute, it's not always the best fit. I'm William Zhang, a local real estate agent here in Austin, and today we're talking about the alternative. What if you could get the walkability, restaurants, job access, and nightlife without most of the headaches? By the end of this video, you'll understand why the Domain is quickly becoming Austin's real second downtown, and why so many families and professionals are choosing to live near it instead. Section 1, what the Domain actually is and why it's different. Now, a lot of people who are new to Austin hear the Domain and think it's just a mall. And yeah, it started that way. Back in 2007, it opened as a high-end shopping center in North Austin. But what it's become is something completely different. It's now a full live work play district. We're talking over 300 acres with two distinct phases: the original Domain on the south side and Domain north side, which opened later and added a whole new layer of restaurants, bars, hotels, and retail. The street grid is actually walkable, which is kind of rare for Austin. You can park your car once and just walk around for hours. But here's what really separates the Domain from just being a nice shopping area: the jobs. Right in that North Austin corridor, you've got Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Indeed, and a whole list of other major tech employers. A lot of people actually call this area Silicon Hills because of how much tech money has moved in up here. So you got tens of thousands of people working in high-paying tech jobs, and the Domain is basically their neighborhood hub. Now compare that to downtown Austin. Downtown has its own employers, sure, but it also comes with 6th Street on a Friday night, the parking situation, the infrastructure that was built for a much smaller city. The Domain corridor, by contrast, is newer, the roads are wider, the development was planned with modern infrastructure in mind. That matters to people who are relocating from out of state and want to feel comfortable in their neighborhood. So it's not just a place to shop, it's a whole ecosystem built around where people want to work, live, and spend their time. And that's exactly why so many people are choosing to build their Austin life around it. Section 2, the lifestyle. Shopping, food, nightlife, parks. So let's talk about what it actually feels like to spend time at the Domain. Because the lifestyle piece is a big reason people choose to live near here. Start with food. There are over 50 restaurants in and around the Domain. You got everything from quick casual spots to nicer sit-down places with rooftop patios. Whole Foods is right there. The retail is high-end. You got luxury brands alongside everyday stores. So you're not driving all over Austin to get things done. It's all in one place. For entertainment, Topgolf is right there, which is a huge draw. Alamo Drafthouse has a location in the area. There are live music venues, seasonal events, outdoor concerts. So families have stuff to do on the weekends. Young professionals have places to go after work. It really does cover both groups well. Now here's something I think is underrated: the green space. People don't always think of the Domain as an outdoor area, but the Stone Lake Boulevard trail system runs right through there and connects you to a broader network of hike and bike trails. Bull Creek is close by. There's a real outdoor fitness culture built into this part of Austin. So if you're someone who wants to be able to walk or run outside without getting in your car, this neighborhood actually delivers on that. And then there's the nightlife question, because people moving with families sometimes worry, is this going to feel like I'm living next to a party district? And the honest answer is no. Domain nightlife is newer, cleaner, and it winds down earlier than 6th Street does. It's more of a rooftop cocktail on a Friday evening vibe than a stumbling home at 3 a.m. vibe. That's a big deal for people with kids or early morning schedules. What's also worth pointing out is that the retail and restaurant occupancy at the Domain has consistently stayed strong even when a lot of traditional downtown retail corridors around Texas were struggling. Foot traffic here is real and sustained. That tells you something about how much demand there is for this kind of live work play environment among Austin's growing population. So the lifestyle is genuinely there. It's not a future promise. People are already living it right now. And that brings us to the part a lot of you are probably most interested in. What does it actually look like to buy or rent near the Domain? And which neighborhoods give you the best access? Quick question for you. Would you rather live somewhere you have to drive everywhere or somewhere your weekends start the second you step outside? Drop your answer in the comments. I read everyone. Section 3, where to live near the domain, neighborhoods, and housing. All right, so let's get into the actual neighborhoods because this is where it gets really practical for people who are seriously considering a move to this part of Austin. The closest neighborhoods to the domain are Millwood, Gracie Woods, and Balcones Woods. These are established tree-lined streets with single-family homes, not new construction, but solid neighborhoods that have been here for decades. The kind of streets where people actually know their neighbors. Because they're so close to the domain, you're talking a 5 to 10 minute drive or even a bike ride to everything we just covered. If you work at one of the tech employers in that corridor, you could literally bike Vieng to work. That's not something most people associate with Austin, but it's real up here. Now, if you want a little more space or newer construction, you start looking at Northwest Austin. Places like Anderson Mill, Avery Ranch, and the Brushy Creek area. These neighborhoods push you a bit further out, but you're still looking at under 15 minutes to the domain on most days. And what you get in return is larger lots, newer homes, and some really strong school options. It feeds into a mix of Round Rock ISD and Austin ISD, depending on the exact street you're on, so that's something worth checking carefully before you commit. School zoning here is not always obvious and does affect your day-to-day life if you've got kids. Now let's talk price, because I know that's what a lot of you are waiting for. Homes near the domain, we're talking the closest neighborhoods, generally run from the mid-400s up into the 700s and beyond, depending on how updated the home is and how tight the walk to the domain actually is. The further northwest you go, the more your dollar stretches. You can find solid 4-bedroom homes in Anderson Mill or Brushy Creek in the mid to upper 400s, which for Austin is honestly reasonable when you factor in what you're getting access to. And if you're not ready to buy yet, the domain itself has a strong rental market. There are luxury apartment towers right inside the development, newer builds with rooftop pools, co-working spaces, the whole thing. These are popular with young professionals who just relocated for a tech job and want to be close to work and the social scene before they figure out where they want to put down roots. Rents in those towers run higher, but you're paying for the convenience and the lifestyle, and a lot of people find it worth it for at least the first year or two. The commute factor is honestly one of the strongest selling points of this whole area. Whether you're renting inside the domain or buying in one of the surrounding neighborhoods, if your job is in that North Austin Tech corridor, your commute situation is night and day compared to fighting I-35 from somewhere south of the river every morning. That quality of life difference adds up fast. So here's the bottom line. The domain isn't trying to replace downtown Austin, it's offering a different version of it. You still get walkability, restaurants, nightlife, and major job access, but you also get newer infrastructure, cleaner streets, and a little less chaos than central Austin. For a lot of families and professionals, that's not a downgrade, it's a trade-up. If you're thinking about moving to Austin and want to be near the domain corridor, reach out to me directly, call, text, or email using the info below, and grab the free relocation guide in the description. It breaks down all the major Austin neighborhoods so you can compare them side by side. And before you go, if you're wondering what your actual budget gets you here, watch this next video. How much house $500,000 gets you in Austin, inside versus suburbs. It'll give you real perspective before you make a move. If this helped, like and subscribe. I put out new Austin content every single week.